All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some global market stuff today.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it is actually. I always find this stuff so fascinating.
Yeah, me too.
We've got like this recent report from Pensions Advisors.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, and it's got some interesting stuff in there. I think this is definitely relevant to everyone, like
Oh, absolutely.
whether or not they're like investors or just kind of curious about, you know,
Yeah, how it all connects, right?
yeah, how the world kind of like, is tied together.
Totally.
So our mission for this deep dive basically is to figure out what this report really means, you know?
Right. Cut through the jargon.
Yeah, cut through all the like financial mumbo jumbo.
And like, what does it mean for like everyday people?
Exactly, yeah. Like how does this affect you and me, you know?
Exactly.
Right. So like the first thing that really stood out to me in this report was that the US stock market
Oh yeah.
had like its worst day this year.
Not a good sign.
No, not a good sign at all. And I'm kind of curious, like what's going on there? Why is that happening?
Well, it's like you said, not a good sign. But it wasn't just like one single thing. It's like
Yeah.
a whole bunch of factors kind of all coming together at the same time.
Okay.
Like, one of the big ones, we always hear about these economic reports and stuff.
Yeah.
This recent manufacturing index took a nosedive. And that's kind of a big deal, right?
What does that mean exactly? Like when they say,
Okay,
"Oh, the manufacturing index is down."
so basically, like, when this index goes down, it means factories are slowing down production. They're not making as much stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so that can have, like, a ripple effect. I mean, think about it. Less production means fewer jobs, right?
Oh, right.
Maybe we even start to see less variety or less availability of certain products on the shelves?
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's not just like, oh, some number on a screen is down.
No, it's real-world stuff.
This is like actually impacting what we see and do every day.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then on top of that, there's all this talk about new tariffs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which, if those go into effect, that could like really disrupt things. Like, think global trade, supply
Oh,
chains.
that's right. Yeah.
And ultimately, it could even drive up the prices on all the stuff we buy every day.
Right, like groceries and gas and everything.
Everything, exactly. And then kind of adding fuel to the fire, there's this growing concern that people just aren't spending as much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like consumers, you and me, we're all maybe getting a little hesitant to pull out our wallets.
Yeah, I mean, if you're kind of worried about how the economy's going, you're probably not going to go out and buy a new TV or something.
Exactly. And that's what economists are worried about. If everyone starts tightening their belts, it
Yeah.
impacts business profits, and then that impacts market performance.
Right, it's like a whole cycle.
It is. It's a vicious
So
cycle.
it sounds like things aren't looking so great in the U.S., but this report mentioned some other stuff too, right? Like, what about the U.K.?
Yeah, you're right. The UK is not exactly having a party either. Their stock market took a dip recently, too.
Interesting.
And like a key factor over there, slowing private sector growth.
So, like, what does that mean? Private sector growth.
Think of it like this. If businesses in the UK aren't expanding, not investing in new projects, that can have a domino effect on their whole economy?
Right, right.
And that slowdown can impact how much they buy from other countries.
Oh, I see. So it affects like imports and exports and everything.
Exactly. And guess who one of their big trading partners is?
The U.S.
The US.
So
Exactly.
it really is all interconnected. What happens in one place
Oh, yeah.
can really like send ripples to another.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got the U.S., we've got the U.K.
Right.
Both kind of, not having the best time. And then I also saw something about Asia too, right? Like their markets were down on Monday.
Yeah, you're on top of it. Asian markets definitely weren't immune to this global mood.
So is that like directly connected to what happened in the U.S. on Friday?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, when Wall Street has a bad day, people all over the world take notice, especially in Asia.
Right, because they do a lot of trading with the U.S., right?
Tons. They're super tied to the U.S. economy through all sorts of trade and investment.
So it's like that Friday in the U.S. sent these like shock waves across the globe.
Exactly. And Asian markets were definitely feeling the tremors on Monday.
Okay, so big picture here. We've
Yeah.
got the U.S., we've got the U.K., we've got Asia, all experiencing these market dips.
Not exactly a party, like we
Not a
said.
party, yeah. It's a little unnerving, to be honest.
I get it.
But like, what does all of this really mean for, the average person? Like, how does this high-level financial stuff trickle down and affect, like, my daily life?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It's like, how does this abstract stuff translate to the real world?
Right, exactly.
Well, one way is through jobs.
Jobs, okay.
Yeah, think about it. If companies aren't doing so hot, they got to start cutting costs somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That could mean hiring freezes. Maybe they're not bringing on new people.
Right.
Or, in a worst-case scenario, even layoffs.
Oh, wow.
And then, even if you're not worried about your job, you might start to feel it in your wallet.
My wallet. How so?
Well, if consumers are nervous about the economy, they might start spending less,
Oh, okay.
which means businesses make less money,
Right.
and the whole cycle kind of continues.
Right, right. So like less going out to eat, less vacations.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe you think twice about that big purchase you were planning.
Oh, okay.
And depending on how things play out, we could see certain industries slow down more than others.
Right, so like maybe housing prices are affected or
Yeah, or the availability of certain products, all sorts of things.
it's crazy to think that like even if you're not like actively investing in the stock market, this stuff could still have a big impact on your life.
It really can, yeah.
Wow. Okay, well this has been a really fascinating deep dive.
It has.
A little unnerving, but fascinating.
Yeah, I think knowledge is power, though, right?
Yeah,
Even
absolutely.
if it's a little scary sometimes,
It's definitely better to be informed.
for sure. And, this is just a starting point.
Right.
There's so much more to explore, like if something in particular piqued your interest,
Yeah.
dive deeper, look into specific sectors or companies, I see what's happening.
That's a great idea.
You never know what you might find.
Totally. You might even find some good news out there somewhere.
Exactly. Got to stay optimistic.
All right. Well, thanks for breaking all this down for us.
You're welcome. It was fun.
And to our listeners, stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.